Tonight, gun or stage prop? A Hammond High School senior gets suspended for bringing this BB gun to school, a gun he says a teacher asked him to bring in for a school play. Also tonight, spending millions of dollars on a new welcome center near Alex Bay leaves a bad taste in the mouths of residents who just want clean drinking water at a better price. And filling a Watertown City Council seat now that a sitting lawmaker moves to the State Assembly.
You're watching the North Country's news station. 7 News this evening starts now. Live from downtown Watertown, here's Jeff Cole.
Good evening. Protest at Hammond Central Schools. It's about a suspension over a BB gun or a stage prop. It depends on how you look at it. Here's 7 News reporter Keith Benman.
This video shows
finishing touches are being made to a multi-million-dollar New York State North Country Welcome Center. It is located in Collins Landing, just off I-81 North. Construction started in March. The money is from the state budget. While the doors aren't open just yet, the center is expected to feature I Love New York kiosks, a Taste of New York market, and an LED screen to promote area attractions.
A very contemporary, new, world-class kind of experience. Inside that Welcome Center, we have brand new, state-of-the-art I Love New York exhibits that tell the story of visiting the North Country and the Thousand Islands.
Fram says it'll open later this month. It's one of 11 new welcome centers being built across New York State. So as the state spends millions of dollars on that welcome center, it leaves a bad taste in the mouths of nearby residents who want clean drinking water at a better price. Here's 7 News reporter Natalie Kutchko. Mark Walczyk's huge win for the 116th State Assembly District seat last night has us asking today, what's next? Here's 7 News reporter Aaron Bischoff. Walczyk's win means a new city council member in Watertown will have to be appointed, and that person will have a voice come January. So how does that process go? Here's 7 News reporter Alex Valverde.
Watertown.
Everyone thinks the turnout for Tuesday's midterm election was heavy in the North Country. So 7 News reporter Genevieve DiNatale compared Tuesday's election turnout to those in years past to see just how big it really was.
The turnout today.
And still to come here on 7 News on Military Matters tonight. My sit-down interview with the Commanding General of the 10th Bond Division. He explains why winning the peace in Iraq will be more difficult than winning the war. And we'll learn why these flags are being flown in Krogan for the fallen.
From the North Country's news station, you're watching 7 News this evening with Jeff Cole. Tonight's weather with John Kubis. And your North Country sports with Mel Busler.
That's where we find Jeff Cole tonight. He is going to MC tonight's event. Jeff, looks like fun out there.
Yeah, yes, sir. It is fun out here. We have a lot of people for this first of 3 downtown block parties here in downtown Watertown. Channel 7, a proud sponsor of these events. And let me just step aside, and you can see the crowd that is here. And everyone that has been involved in this has said to one another, boy, this is more than what we had last year in our first one. So you can see the progress. That puts a smile on the faces of the organizers that are part of this downtown block party. One of those, and one of them helping, the support of the city of Watertown. Mayor Joe Butler is going to step in here. And Mayor, thanks for taking 2 seconds here to chat with us. You look at this, and you look at this as a success story for downtown Watertown. Not just what's around here, but what's going on in Public Square. You have to be happy with that.
Yeah, it's a great night. It's a beautiful night weather-wise.
The 7 News debate, the race for Congress. And now your host, Jeff Cole.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our debate in the race for the North Country seat in Congress. The 3 candidates are competing to represent a huge portion of northern New York, 12 counties in all, stretching from Lake Ontario to Lake Champlain and on to the Albany area.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Mackenzie Pyatt.
And I'm Jeff Cole. We are at Honeyville Manor in Adams Center to bring you the heart of the North Country. For the next half hour, we will take a look back at the stories that made us smile this year, reasons why we're proud to call the North Country home. And as you said, there's a commanding lead for the Republican incumbent in Congress of the 21st District. That would be Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. And as we're here and the party continues, we're here without the Democratic challenger, Tedra Cobb. We anticipated on having her for an interview at this time. I'm told by the Cobb camp that they're waiting on a couple of different counties to report, a couple of numbers. They want to look at these numbers. They are, I'm told by a spokesperson for the campaign, they're looking at the numbers from Saratoga County, and they're also looking for the numbers from St. Lawrence County. We're on the Ferris wheel. We're going to start it up. We have Dan with Coleman Brothers at the helm of the Ferris wheel. Dan, go ahead and start it up if you would, sir, and we'll start taking a ride. I have Doug Hanna with me as well. He's the president of the Fair Board here at the Lewis County Fair. And we'll talk to Doug a little bit here about what's happening. Thanks, first of all, for agreeing to do this interview for the first time on a Ferris wheel.
This is the highest I've ever been on an interview.
This is nice. So we have a beautiful view out here today. It is a beautiful day. Les Shockley is on our camera, and he's showing you that. We have another camera here as well, and that'll show you the midway. But Doug, talk to me about opening day and the excitement that goes along with opening up the 198th edition of the Lewis County Fair.
You know, it's always a relief to see the opening ceremonies take place and people come in the grounds and start enjoying things. And we kicked that off at 10 o'clock this morning without a hitch.
Channel 7, a proud community helper of the Lewis County Fair. We're happy to be here. And Doug, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it very much. And we'll be live throughout our other broadcasts as well later on tonight at 6 o'clock, but all through the week. So Jeff Cole reporting live from on top of the Ferris wheel, the best view in Lewis County right now. Mackenzie, back to you. When you think of Iraq, what comes to mind? Destruction, poverty, a lost cause? Fresh off a deployment to that country, the commanding general of the 10th Mountain Division says it's quite the opposite. We begin our two-part story tonight with Major General Walter Pyatt.
I would assume most people would think that it's a violent place and that nobody there wants peace, that everywhere you go it's extremely dangerous and it's very difficult. That's not the Iraq that I know.
Wrapping up a several-month deployment to Iraq, we sat down with the 10th Mountain Division's commanding general at Luray Mansion on post. Major General Walter Pyatt just wrote a document, Winning the Peace in Iraq.
I wanted to just shift the focus from winning the fight to winning the peace.
And as you said, you have optimism that will happen. Do you think a lot of people share in your optimism?
Well, I think the Iraqis do.
To win the peace, General Pyatt says U.S. and Iraqi forces need to instill confidence in the Iraqi people, get them their houses back, get them jobs, an economy, and that will lead them to trusting the newly formed government and not revolt.
To really win it strategically, to really defeat the ideology of this ruthless enemy, you have to address the needs of the population, and that will make their ideology fall on empty ears, and the population itself will reject it, and that's when you've truly won the peace.
How fragile is it if the ISIS ideology comes back? What's the balance there? How fragile is it, or is there a strong foundation to move forward with peace right now?
I think there's a very strong foundation. You go to Mosul, you go to these places where ISIS occupied and dominated, and the people hate them. They feel liberated. They celebrate the fact that their country freed them. They trust the Iraqi army deeply. The most trusted organization in Iraq is the Iraqi army.
General Pyatt's opinion on Iraq is written out for anyone to read. However, this commanding general had a unique chance to share his view with the commander-in-chief, President Trump. General Pyatt arrived home from Iraq just days before Trump's visit to Fort Drum in August.
He asked me about Iraq, and I said the same thing. Sir, we won the fight. We've got to stay committed to winning the peace.
Tomorrow night, pockets of peace in Iraq. What that looks like, what the general has seen, and how the 10th Mountain Division sacrifices helped achieve peace over the course of 15 years of war.